Voice your values with your dollar. Voice your concerns, ideas, and solutions. Build a community. Welcome, neighbors, to Hometown Earth, the podcast that brings a down-to-earth approach to all of your sustainability questions. I'm your host, Lena Sanford, here on the Believe Podcast Network, the #1 podcast network for professionals. Here, we believe that everyone can change the world. Do you believe? I'm a Midwest gal with big dreams to discover what it takes to reduce my impact on this beautiful place we call Hometown Earth. Join me every Tuesday as we navigate what actions we can take, big or small, to make a positive impact in your life and the lives of your neighbors on Hometown Earth. Hello, neighbors. You might be hearing people shout from the rooftops, or rather sharing on social media to hashtag shop small business. While all that chatter is good and usually said with healthy intention, I wanted to take a moment today to rethink what it really means to shop small business. First, let's define what is considered a small business. Well, the answer might surprise you. The Small Business Association says that to be regarded as a small business, you have to be between or below 50 and 1,500 employees and be between or below 1 million or 41.5 million in annual receipts. This is all depending on your industry. And that's a pretty large range, am I right? So while a small business might come to mind as like a small mom and pop shop that is struggling to get by, that's not always the case. The SBA also says that you have to be independently owned and operated, which means you don't have a parent company. So take, for instance, a fast food restaurant chain that may be locally owned in your town, but is operated based in the regulations of their parent company. And finally, the SBA says that you can't be the majority of the national market share for your industry. I think this definition makes it clear why small businesses make up about 44% of economic activity in the United States. But there is more than just choosing to shop small. To help you understand where I'm coming from, I have a few questions to get you rethinking hashtag shop small business. The first question is, do you want to support a small business if they donate their money and by association your money or their time to organizations that fuel inequality or lack of access? How do you feel about supporting a small business that imports its products from exploitive countries? What about the ones that only carry products that are unsustainable for the environment? And do you feel comfortable buying from businesses that aren't inclusive? There's a lot more questions that could be asked here, but it kind of gets you thinking about your values. And there's also a few more questions to ponder. Does that small business have a plan in place for fixing its shortfalls? Are there any barriers preventing the small business from fully aligning with the values that protect the earth? What obstacles do you or your community have that may require them to shop or sell the way that they are? Shopping a small business is not just a black and white topic. There is so much gray, and we need to think critically about these things if we want to advance as a society. Rigid thinking has gotten us to many of the problems that we face today. So instead of saying shop small business, I want you to alter that and encourage you to instead say, shop small, locally owned businesses who support your values. All right, I know it doesn't make that great of a hashtag. I admit it's too many words. Still, we must recognize the difference and talk about it when having these conversations. Shopping small, locally owned, value-aligned businesses could be the answer. Large corporations get a lot of media time. They're the ones who are in the spotlight when it comes to having an opinion on political issues, diversity, where their money goes, their impact on the environment and people, and more. And while it's true that a handful of large corporations are the heaviest hitters to our environment, why can't we be asking those same questions of our local small businesses. The Biden Harris administration reports that 98% of small businesses have fewer than 20 employees, and small businesses create 2/3 of net new jobs. That's millions of people out there working for either a small business owner or owning a small business themselves. That is unspoken power. That is power that we could really leverage if we tapped into it. It takes the seemingly impossible fight against big business to a local level, one that isn't as daunting, where people could have these conversations about sustainability with small business owners and start working to change the narrative from small businesses on up. Keep in mind, not all small businesses will stay as small as they started. Some will grow. What happens when a small business becomes a big business? If you supported a business that you don't align with, you may have just provided them a larger platform for a voice that you don't feel good about. Does that mean that you should stop shopping with them? Well, depending on your situation, not necessarily. But you should pay attention to their practices up front. Shop small and sustainable when you can. Voice your values with your dollar. Voice your concerns, ideas, and solutions. Build a community. On the other side of the coin, not all small businesses will grow or even stay open forever. It's just the nature of the game. But when businesses are here, we can thoughtfully and intentionally shop from them. Talking to your local businesses about the things that we have been learning in this podcast can make a massive difference for your community and, in turn, the planet. The motto goes, think globally, act locally. So let's talk a little bit about small business benefits. Shopping small and local businesses has a few awesome benefits that you might not have heard of. The main proponents of small local business are that they keep money in the economy, which they do. NerdWallet says that when you spend $100 at a small business, $48 of that stays in the community. Spend the same $100 at a big box store or national retailer, and only $14 stays. And just as I mentioned, you are supporting local jobs and supporting your community and the entrepreneurs that live there. Your help provides jobs for your neighbors, friends, and family. And those jobs are likely to be more fulfilling for the individual than working for a big box store. One study by Affleck showed that employees feel happier working for small businesses, that they feel like they have more of an impact, and that their voices are heard. What did I tell you? That is unspoken power. Shopping small local businesses is also helping to reduce inequality. The Institute for Local Self-Reliance notes a few studies that find reduced income inequality, stating that the increasing size of corporations is driving inequality, while local and dispersed business ownership strengthens the middle class. They also find that locally owned businesses are linked to higher income growth and lower levels of poverty, while big box retailers, particularly Walmart, depresses wages and benefits for retail employees. Small, locally owned businesses also have a reduced environmental impact. Because of the nature of wanting to be centrally located, small local businesses are typically close to one another at a city's center, contributing to less physical spread, which can mean less habitat loss and reduced driving to distant locations. It also means less pollution and easier access for public transit. This is more challenging for smaller rural America, but many local businesses are still located along the same main street, even in small town America. By shopping locally at your farmer's market, for example, you know that your food is locally grown, unlike many grocery stores where your food travels for over 1,000 miles. This cuts down on fuel, pollution, energy, shipping facilities, packing facilities, waste, and refrigeration. Overall, the carbon footprint is smaller when you shop at small, locally owned businesses. And the last point I want to make about rethinking what it means to shop small business, we need to rethink the word support. I often feel like the word support in the small business world is that these businesses are literally on life support. And if you don't, quote, support them, they will close up shop. But your small businesses aren't all charity cases. You should support them because they add more value to you and your community, have quality and integrity, provide you with a better experience and more expertise, and align with your values. You shouldn't just patronize them just for the fact that they are there. You can also support your small businesses in more ways than just giving your money for goods. You can spread the word. This means getting out word of mouth or sharing on social media. It keeps the businesses top of mind and is a really good form of marketing. The pandemic put pressure on many businesses, putting marketing last on the to-do list. This helps them to be seen and heard by your community. You can also leave a review for a small business that you love so someone passing through or looking for somewhere new can read your kind words. People aren't always going to buy local or small 100% of the time, but you can help keep these small businesses coming to mind first. Even for yourself, you can practice seeing if the item is available locally first by searching social media or asking a friend before ordering from another small business that isn't local online or going somewhere else to get it. You can also attend events that support your local small businesses. Many businesses have pop up events where they have promotions to try to drum up new business, even circumstances where they have sponsored a team or an item. Showing up and maybe even bringing a friend shows that you care about your community, even if you don't spend any money. And finally, you can show your support by giving these small businesses a break. Local small businesses are the people who are wearing many hats at once, trying to make you, the customer, happy. You might not get next day delivery or dirt cheap prices like you can see at Amazon, but still, being patient and understanding will help you to make the connection to the fact that there is a real human on the other end of the product that you're wanting. And they're putting their time and energy into that. And that is valuable. On this week's Something to Grow On, I encourage you to find a new to you local small business that aligns with your values. Ask a friend, search on Yelp, search your location on social media and see who's posted. Or you could look on your city's website, as many of these cities have all of their local businesses listed. And if you're from a small town like I am, where you know all of the small local businesses, maybe you search a town or two over and see what you can find. For anyone out there, you can try Etsy and find makers that align with your values. You can even search your state on Etsy and see what sellers listed their goods. Then choose one small local business to reach out to about their sustainability measures and start a conversation. Sustainability begins in your community and in your small businesses. Remember that we're all in this together, neighbors. So until next time, thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Hometown Earth as much as I did. Let us know by rating and subscribing so you never miss an episode. New episodes drop every week on Tuesday. Head to the show notes, linked in the episode description for more details. And let us know in the comments what you want to hear next. You can find us on iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, or anywhere you listen to podcasts. Believe.com and at Believe Podcasts. And you can find more about the podcast on Instagram at Hometown Earth or connect with me personally at Lena Saintford. We all know change needs to happen, so let's get started right here at Hometown Earth.